Alright, so now we're going to solve equations using the division and multiplication properties of equality. Okay, so what this page says, if A equals B, then you can divide both sides by the same number and you will still get something that is equal. So let's try it. Alright, so check this out. We've got 5 times x on the left-hand side. You've got an equal sign right there, and that equals negative 27. So how do you undo multiplication? You undo multiplication with division. So we're going to divide both sides by the number that's in front of the variable. Notice if you do the same thing to both sides, you still get something that's equal. 5 divided by 5 creates 1. So what we're left with is 1x or just x. We don't usually write the 1. And on the right-hand side, we can't really reduce that. So you get an answer of 27 over 5. That can't be reduced. You could turn it into a mixed number, but again, I really do prefer improper fractions over mixed numbers, but your calculator will probably give you this number, which those are the same thing, and that's totally fine. Now you can check your work with these two. So you've got 5 over 1, which is what that says right there, times negative 27 fifths. Does that equal negative 27? Well, the 5's cancel, so you're left with negative 27 equals negative 27. And that's a true statement, so I know that this answer right here is correct. Alright, so this page says if you have A equals B, then you can multiply both sides by the same number and you still get something that is equal. So let's try that. Alright, so we have y divided by negative 7 is equal to negative 14. So y divided by negative 7. I'm just rewriting the problem. So how do you undo divided by? Well, we're going to multiply both sides by that number because those guys will cancel each other out. And what I do to one side, I've got to do the exact same thing to the other side. So I'm left with y is equal to negative 14 times negative 7. Negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2, and I've got positive 98. Now, ask yourself, is that the correct answer? Well, let's try it out. Let's put 98 in where we see y, right there. So I've got 98 divided by negative 7. Is that equal to negative 14? And I get negative 14 is equal to negative 14. That is a true statement, so I know that this answer is correct. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you could work this problem and totally get it right. If you're using a calculator, then I suggest you just do this. This says 3/4 times x is equal to 12. How do you undo multiplication? With division. And again, you would type in, be careful how you type it in. You got to make sure you type in the top number first. So 12 divided by 3/4 is 16. Now I'm going to show you another way to work this problem. If you're doing this by hand, this second way is actually easier. So 3/4 x is equal to 12. Now, again, you're allowed to multiply both sides by the same number and still get something that's equal. So I would multiply both sides by 4/3, multiply by the reciprocal. Dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So this right here, the 4's cancel, the 3's cancel. You're left with just x. 3 will go into 12 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. So if you're doing it by hand, I recommend the way on the left. If you're doing it by calculator, I recommend the way on the right. So again, you can check your answers. 3/4 times 16 over 1. Does that equal 12? 4 will go into 16 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 equals 12. So I know that x does equal 16. Alright, so this problem, you could do it either way that I just showed you. So you could either multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 5/4, or you could just divide both sides by negative 4/5 and type it into your calculator properly. Now you have to be careful when you type this in. Top number goes first. So on my calculator, 8 fraction 15 divided by -4 fraction 5 and hit enter, and I get that x is equal to -2/3. So now again you can check your work by putting -2/3 in wherever you see x. Does that equal -4/5 times -2/3? So multiply straight across, so 8/15 on the left. -4 times -2 is +8. 5 times 3 is 15. And because that's equal, I know that's the correct answer. All right, on a problem like this, you're going to combine your like terms. And remember, like terms are only considered like terms when they're on the same side of the equal sign. So on the left-hand side, those are like terms. 14 minus 23 is -9. And then on the right side, I'm going to combine all of these because all of those are like terms. So 12y minus 4y is 8y. 8y minus 5y is 3y. And now I would divide both sides by 3. -9 divided by 3 is -3. -3 is equal to y. So now, if I want to see if that's if that answer really is correct, I could check it. So 14 minus 23, does that equal 12 times -3 minus 4 times -3 minus 5 times -3? 14 minus 23 is -9. 12 times -3 is -36. And the second one, a negative times a negative is a positive. And then a negative times a negative is a positive. So is -9 equal to -36 plus 12, which is -24. -24 plus 15 is -9. So that is correct. All right, on this problem, we are going to distribute and then combine our like terms. So you would do -4 times a, -4 times -3, and that's a stop sign. So I can't multiply the -4 times the -7. So you get -4a, you get plus 12 minus 7 equals 25. And so now our like terms are right here. So we're going to combine those. Okay, so now we want to subtract 5 from both sides. And now we're going to divide both sides by -4. And so I get that a is equal to -5. Now again, we can check our work. So -4 times -5 minus 3 minus 7, does that equal 25? So I would do this first. -4 times -8 is -32. Sorry, positive 32. Losing my mind here. Okay. 32 minus 7 is 25. And that is correct. So I know that that is the correct answer. This page is just a recap of all the properties that we've talked about in the last video and in this video. Alright, so now we're going to translate and then we're going to solve. So the number 143 is the product of -11 and y. So the number 143 is the product of -11 and y, because product means multiply. So now we're going to divide both sides by -11, and we get -13. And so now I can check that out and see if it actually works. So 143 is the product of -11 and -13. 143 is equal to negative times negative is positive. 11 times 13 is 143. So I know this is the correct answer. All right, we're going to translate this one and solve too. N divided by 8 is means equals negative 32. So N divided by 8 is negative 32. Now, a lot of people tend to jump the gun here and tell me that the answer is negative 4, and that is not correct here. So make sure you're really careful with this problem. We want to multiply both sides by 8. And so that cancels right there. N is equal to negative 32 times 8. And we get negative 256, which was way off from negative 4. So don't give me negative 4 as the answer. So now test it out. Negative 256 divided by 8, is that equal to negative 32? And so whenever I do that division, I get negative 32 is equal to negative 32. That's correct. So this is my answer. All right, on this one, we're going to translate and solve again. Quotient means divide. Is means equals. So quotient of y and negative 4 is 68. So we multiply both sides by negative 4. Those cancel. You're left with y is equal to, and I'm typing in 68 times negative 4, and I get negative 272. All right, again, you can test this out, see if it creates a true statement. And whenever I do that math, I do get 68 is equal to 68. So that is the correct answer. All right, so this one, notice how it says 3/4 of p. Of means multiply. Is means equals. So 3/4 of p, that means multiply, is 18. So in order to solve this one, divide both sides by 3/4. So p is equal to, so 18 over 1 divided by 3/4 is the same thing as 18 over 1 times 4/3. So I get 24 as an answer. So if I want to test that, 3/4 times 24, is that equal to 18? 6 times 3 is 18. Yep, that's a true statement, so this is the correct answer. All right, on this problem, the sum of 3/8 and x, so the sum means add, so 3/8 and x is 1/2. So in order to solve this one, I would subtract 3/8 from both sides. X is equal to, and on my calculator, I'm typing in 1 fraction 2 minus 3 fraction 8, and I get 1/8 here. And if you're doing this by hand, 1/2 is equal to 4/8. There you go, right there. All right, so now if I want to check my work, I would do 3/8 plus 1/8, is that equal to 1/2? So I get 4/8, and I get 1/2 equals 1/2, so that is true. All right, so now we're going to solve some applications. Danae bought 6 pounds of grapes for $10.74. What was the cost of 1 pound of grape? So if I let x equal the cost of 1 pound of grapes, she bought 6 pounds, so 6 times x is equal to 1074. If I divide both sides by 6, I get the cost of 1 pound. So on my calculator, 10.74 divided by 6 is $1.79. Don't forget, always write what it means for 1 pound of grapes. All right, on this problem, Andreas bought a used car for $12,000. Because the car was 4 years old, its price was 3/4 of the original price when the car was new. What was the original price of the car? So on this one, I'm going to let X equal original price of car. So I know that 3/4 times the original price is $12,000. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3/4. And on my calculator, I'm typing in 12000 divided by 3 fraction 4, and I get X is equal to 16,000. 16,000 what? $16,000 was the original price of the car. All right, so that's it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know.